Ethan and I have been married for over 6 months. But we've only met 3 times. When I visited his unit, I grabbed the wrong man's hand and blurted out, "How long has it been? Let's hurry up and make a baby." The young officer turned pale. "Ma'am, you've got the wrong person. This is your husband." Ethan stood behind me frowning, his police badge gleaming under fluorescent lights. From our first meeting to our wedding, Ethan and I only crossed paths 3 times. Our initial encounter was a family dinner. Captivated by his chiseled features, I tried chatting him up. The stoic man uttered exactly 3 sentences all evening. 1. I'm Ethan Carter, police captain. 2. I'm not good at conversation. 3. Drive safely, Luna. I fled without exchanging numbers. Our second meeting was at the courthouse. His parents claimed he talked about me constantly. Yet during our wedding photos he stood ramrod straight like a cadet. My billionaire heiress lifestyle clashed spectacularly with his by-the-book police captain demeanor. Our parents hoped marriage would reform me and loosen him up. Instead, we became glorified roommates. On our wedding night, I tried breaking the ice by barging into his shower. He pinned me against damp bathroom tiles before muttering, "Apologies. Still adjusting." My flirtatious mood evaporated faster than the steam when he secured his towel like Fort Knox. I retreated to my penthouse and summoned Sophia with tequila. "Luna, you actually got married secretly? Let me see your husband's photo," Sophia screeched, examining our marriage certificate. "Holy smokes! Why aren't you writing that Adonis right now?" I gestured at my empty champagne flute. Who installs presidential portraits in their bedroom? I felt like I was attending a state dinner. Our third encounter happened at the airport. Under parental scrutiny, Ethan's ears burned crimson as he stammered, "I'll miss you." His awkward attempt at affection seemed purely performative. For 6 months since, our marriage consisted of nightly texts and weekly calls drier than police briefings. His monthly salary transfers always included a memo, report, $1,723.57 net pay, including allowances. Transferred $1,719.57. Requesting $4 approval for team dinner. I replied K. He texted back, "Please respond approved." "Would you starve without my permission?" I snapped. 1 minute later, my banking app notified me of another $4 deposit. This man actually reimbursed himself from our joint account. Marriage to Ethan continues to be the most bizarre experience of my 28 years. Am I after his money? I transferred everything back. But he sent it again, only keeping $200. The typing indicator blinked. After a long pause, another message came, "Last night, I dreamed about you." My chest tightened. He shouldn't be saying such things. I asked, "Is your dad nearby?" "Ethan, how'd you know?" "Ha. Figures." Another performance. Gradually, my life grew emptier. Staring at the vast family fortune, I began pondering inheritance. Eventually, I even considered having a child without the father. Ethan's good looks and strong physique would guarantee excellent offspring. Most importantly, given his temperament, he'd probably file for divorce within 2 years. Then I'd have an heir and freedom. Wouldn't that be perfect? I applied to visit their police unit, but they only approved 5 days. Time's tight. I texted Ethan to wait by the family dorm. That's when I realized something crucial. I couldn't remember his face. Numerous uniformed officers stood downstairs, all straight-backed and hat-wearing lookalikes. Squinting at our marriage certificate, I scanned the crowd. Finally spotted a man beneath a tree resembling him. I dashed toward Ethan, waving wildly. When our eyes met, his furrowed brows matched the photo's 80% likeness. I hugged him fiercely. He shoved me off like scalded. "What are you doing?" I snapped. "Won't even hug? How are we making babies? Clearly need to train you properly." He looked tanner. Slightly less handsome. Voice raspier. Cutting to the chase. I declared, "We're both busy, let's make a kid efficiently." One shot. One success. Ethan looked utterly horrified. Suddenly a familiar stern voice called, "Luna." Ice shot from my soles to scalp. Turning stiffly, I saw Ethan behind me, broader shoulders. Narrower waist. Faint blush across his cheekbones and eye corners. Seething anger resembled puppy dog eyes. "I promised you freedom during our marriage. But seeking children elsewhere seems excessive." Horror. Wrong guy. The mistaken officer bunny hopped to Ethan. "Report." "Captain." "Not my fault, Mrs. Carter initiated." Mortified. I froze. Ethan nodded. "I know. Your father's at the flower bed. Fetch him." His long legs closed the distance. Under my stare, he silently lifted my luggage. His aura sucked away words. The family dorm room swallowed sound whole. He naturally helped me unpack and make the bed as soon as he entered. During our fourth meeting, the conversation seemed even sparser. I awkwardly stared at the ceiling and floor, digging my toes into the carpet, not daring to look at him. "I mistook someone else for Ethan earlier, can you believe that?" I blurted out. Ethan crouched to slide the emptied suitcase under the bed. As he leaned closer, his breathing suddenly hitched. "Take a good look then." His voice dropped to a husky murmur. "So you won't forget what your man looks like." Holy shit. Even unintentional. He looked devastatingly attractive up close, those unfairly long lashes. Irises glowing like liquid amber. My imagination ran wild. How gorgeous would our children be with those genes? Apparently, my staring became too obvious. He abruptly straightened, ears flushing crimson. "You said 2 glances. Since when are you stingy? We're married." I protested, shamelessly drinking in his flustered expression. The air thickened between us, our proximity crossing into territory that usually led to kissing or fistfights in dramas. Screw decorum. I rose on tiptoes, aiming for his lips. "Report." The door burst open as an officer entered. Ethan instinctively sidestepped, sending me crashing into the bed frame. "Where does it hurt?" He immediately crouched to check on me. I forced a pained smile, silently fuming. 2 failed seduction attempts, both thwarted by this man. When Ethan returned from briefing his team, he announced, "I've taken 5 days off. Let's tour the scenic areas and stay at a lodge." My initial approval vanished upon seeing our room, twin beds with military-grade spacing between them. Who gets separate beds on their honeymoon? I hurled a pillow at him. "Why not book different counties while you're at it?" He stood motionless as the pillow struck his face, eyelashes casting shadows over his downcast eyes. "I thought you'd prefer space." "Space?" I seethed. "At this rate, I'll be a widow before needing divorce papers." His apparent eagerness to sleep apart felt like rejection, threatening my carefully plotted timeline. Tonight was supposed to seal our future, both the marital and procreative aspects. Ethan remained frozen, the faint tremor in his jaw mirroring the tension crackling between us. 5 days. 5 days to turn this awkward partnership into something real. Challenge accepted. Could anyone be more wrong than me? In the end, I was the one who booked a couple's suite online. I dragged Ethan there. The moment we entered, I was thrilled with satisfaction. This grown man actually looked utterly horrified, though he quickly regained his composure. A faint blush spread across his face. "This room won't do. It's too flashy. Lacks proper dignity." Seriously? I'm trying to set the mood and he's lecturing about dignity? Furious. I grabbed a prop from the wall and threw it at the mattress. "We're a married couple traveling, not monks taking vows." I pointed at the playful decorations. "Do you really not get it? Or..." His eyes followed my finger before darting away like they'd been burned. He kept silent. Head bowed. Ears burning crimson. Now I understood. He knew. His upbringing probably forbade such impropriety. He was putting on an act. Good. This beat dealing with a complete block of wood. I had the front desk send up wine. Once I got him tipsy, his true nature would surface. Even if he were some ascetic deity, I'd drag him down from heaven tonight. While Ethan showered, I arranged roses and lit crimson candles. He emerged with water droplets trailing down his sculpted torso. My eyes followed their path until a t-shirt blocked the view. I glared in disappointment. He paused, then tiptoed past me without a word. I nearly laughed at the absurdity. Batting my lashes, I pressed a wine glass to his lips from behind, wrapping my arms around his waist. Have a drink, Ethan? My voice dripped honey. His muscular frame stiffened, sloshing the wine. What did you call me? His shower-warm voice held a velvety rasp. Oh, a voice lover's dream. Rising on tiptoes, I breathed by his ear. Ethan, I've only ever called you that. Don't you like it? His entire body shuddered when I repeated it. His ear twitched adorably before flushing red. Ha! The man clearly loved this. Can't drink. Bureau regulations. Yet his trembling tone betrayed him. Changing the subject. Are we? I narrowed my eyes. Not getting away that easily. With a faux stumble, I crashed into his arms, shoving the glass to his mouth. We're off duty now. Ethan! This move was Sophia's signature seduction technique. I'd mastered it perfectly. Yet Ethan simply lifted my dazed self away with one hand, calmly taking the glass with the other. He set it down, smiling silently. Ack! His complete immunity to all my tricks was infuriating. If this keeps up, how are we supposed to have a baby? I grumbled in frustration when Sophia texted me. She'd also come to the East Coast for business and insisted Ethan meet us at the bar tonight. Just seeing the word alcohol made me furious. That man was the most rigid, stubborn teetotaler alive. How could he possibly survive a bar? I vented to Sophia, who responded with a devilish okay emoji. Easy. Sit between Ryan and the other seniors tonight. Take photos. Bet he'll lose his cool. Brilliant. When Ethan tried taking me to dinner, I pouted about going drinking with Sophia instead. I even showed him our meticulously crafted group chat, complete with Ryan's profile picture. His expression finally flickered, though he calmly asked, "Do they know you're married?" Oh ho! Someone's jealous. I smirked. Sophia knows. Not sure about the seniors. You could always stop me. You know. I mentally pictured him pinning me to the bed, canceling all plans. But after a long silence, he hung an ugly GPS tracker around my neck. Press this if in danger. I'll pick you up in 2 hours. He even made me change into a frumpy dress. This looks better. Have fun. Seriously? I glared. You're really not stopping me? His voice rumbled low. I promised not to restrict your freedom. Damn your nobility. I stormed out. Fine. When I file for divorce, he'd better be this accommodating. The pulsating bar lights did nothing for me. All I heard was Ethan's hollow have fun spoken without meeting my eyes. Why did his subdued mood bother me? Sophia nudged me. Posted those photos? Just did. Captioned might not come home tonight. What if he doesn't show? Look who's nervous now. She laughed. Relax. Military men like him have primal possessiveness. Trust me. Really? I gulped my drink, unconvinced. The tracker burned against my collarbone like a brand. But when I left, he didn't even try to stop me. This man had completely shattered my confidence. Just as Sophia predicted. Ethan showed up 10 minutes later. The usually composed man looked slightly flustered, his breathing uneven as if he'd rushed over. Luna! His anxious eyes locked onto mine, glowing with intensity that held nothing but me. Sophia's eyes nearly popped out. Holy shit! He's hotter in person. I'd date someone like him before I die. The two casually chatting seniors beside me suddenly fell silent. Instead of moving, they eyed Ethan with barely concealed hostility. Luna, who's this sweetheart of yours? Aren't you going to introduce us? One smirked at Ethan. Better get in line if you want her. The competition's fierce. Ethan's gaze turned arctic as it swept over them, radiating pressure I'd never felt from him before. Remembering our previous encounters where he'd frustrated me, I decided to provoke him. This is my friend, Ethan. Ethan, these are our seniors. Friend? They sneered. Since when do you call us seniors when your darling's around? Fuck. I never called them seniors to begin with. Sophia's script was getting out of hand. I'd never seen Ethan lose his temper, but the word darling seemed to detonate his last nerve. He'd reminded me just this morning that I only called him darling. His lips curved into a polite smile that somehow made my chest tighten. The suffocating tension nearly broke me. Just as I was about to crack, Ethan shifted his gaze to the seniors. He pulled a crimson booklet from his breast pocket and slammed it on the table with a humorless chuckle. Friend? That's accurate. His finger tapped the marriage certificate. But this kind of friend shouldn't need to cue. Correct? We all froze. Seriously. Can you believe someone carries their marriage certificate everywhere? The seniors silently scrambled to their feet. Even I instinctively started rising until Ethan's iron grip pulled me back onto the couch. Though there was plenty of space. He pressed his scorching arm and palm against mine like a lion marking territory. My heartbeat accelerated as Ethan addressed Sophia and the retreating seniors with frosty courtesy. The noisy bar's contrast to our tense silence felt surreal. To diffuse the atmosphere, Sophia suggested dice games. As the mood gradually thawed, I whispered, "Why are you carrying our marriage certificate?" Ethan's distant gaze snapped back to me, his voice unexpectedly vulnerable. Because it has your photo. The only one I have of you. My breath caught. Now that he mentioned it. I'd never sent him any selfies since our marriage. My chest constricted as I stared at him, my mind buzzing. His eyes held me captive, burning brighter than any alcohol in this bar. Perhaps I had drunk too much. My cheeks were burning, and my vision was starting to blur. Following our plan, Sophia dramatically pointed at the row of bottles on the table and yelled, "Luna, you lost so many rounds earlier. Now that your partner's here, no holding back." My hand trembled as I gripped the bottle. I wasn't faking it, the atmosphere tonight felt particularly intoxicating. Under the swirling disco lights, his eyes looked even more mesmerizing, reflecting my silhouette. Sophia nudged, "Come on, Luna. Finish your debts before next round." As the bottle touched my lips, I hesitated briefly. Before I could shoot him a pitiful glance, the bottle was snatched from my hand. "She's done drinking. Ethan." My heart leaped. Sophia seized the opportunity. Hands on hips, "You know the rules. As her partner, you're not backing out. Are you?" What happened next shocked us all. "I'll take them." Ethan tilted his head back, Adam's apple bobbing as he drained the bottle in one go. Thud, he slammed it on the bar. Under Sophia's stunned gaze, he grabbed another, swirling it overhead like a cowboy before emptying it. The entire table erupted in cheers. I poked his arm, whispering, "But you don't drink." Ethan wiped beer foam from his lips, grinning, "Can't drink on duty. Doesn't mean I can't handle it. Play freely, I'm here." Sophia made gagging noises, "Ugh. Lovebirds alert." 10 bottles later, my plan was collapsing. Ethan remained perfectly sober while others slumped over the table. My frustration mounted. This wasn't how tonight was supposed to go. After last call, even Sophia, half confessing our scheme, got packed into a cab. Back at the hotel, emboldened by residual alcohol, I dragged Ethan onto the bed. When he tried reaching for the lamp, I octopus-limbed around him. No lights. I breathed. To my delight, he obeyed. Seizing the advantage, I climbed atop him. Your abs are so firm. So hot. I love. Rough hands pinned mine. His breathing turned ragged. We should shower first. Don't ruin the mood. I protested, but he flipped our positions with terrifying sobriety. In the darkness, Ethan's eyes glinted like tempered steel as he gazed at me with desperate intensity. Luna, I need to ask you something. Ask away. My lips parted slightly, ready to devour. Do you like me? Like you? In a heartbeat, I didn't hesitate, already leaning in to claim this forbidden fruit. But Ethan pressed his knuckles against my mouth. I meant, romantically. Love? The word felt both familiar and alien. It doused me like cold water. My old carefree self would have lied without blinking. Yet under this moonlit dimness, meeting Ethan's burning, resolute gaze, I faltered. This infuriating man was different from all others. In that hesitation, he stole back control. Swinging me around, he effortlessly pinned me against the bedsheets. My hair fanned out as I watched his retreating figure disappear into the bathroom. I'm sweaty. Showering first. Get some rest. His movements were brisk. When his shirt slipped through my grasping fingers, my nose stung as I buried myself under the covers. Damn it! Just some guy. Why should I care? He can't escape me anyway. Maybe the alcohol fueled it. I plotted countless midnight counterattacks, all wasted. I didn't even realize when sleep took me. Sometime past midnight, faint light roused me. Blinking. I saw Ethan writing by phone glow. WH, what are you doing? I slurred. Under the dim light, he flashed an embarrassed smile before resuming furious scribbling. Incident report. Drank too much tonight, terrible example for the team. Go back to sleep. I inhaled sharply. This man's principles truly conquered all. Morning brought skull-splitting pain. Years of temperance had made me weak. Bile churned as I dry heaved into the bedside trash can. While wiping my mouth, I heard Ethan emerge from the kitchen holding a bowl. Seeing my distress, he immediately sat beside me, rubbing circles on my back. I'm fine. Leaning into his solid chest, my traitorous heart skipped beats. Just as I cursed my weakness, warm ceramic touched my hands. Stomach hurting? You kept whimpering last night. This is hangover soup, drink first. Then eat something. His gaze softened unusually as I sipped the mildly sweet broth. Good? Amazing. The liquid soothed my insides. Grinning dopily, I asked, where'd you buy this? Through lingering dizziness. This isn't something you can buy. I got the recipe from someone and brewed it fresh. Ethan took my bowl and set it aside, then pressed the back of his hand against my forehead to check my temperature. His brows knitted slightly, thick lashes resembling palm fronds as he gazed at me with that intense, mesmerizing focus. No fever, he concluded, the tension dissolving from his features. A dimple appeared as his lips curved into a smile that made his already handsome face downright irresistible. Holy! I stared slack-jawed until drool actually dripped onto his hand. Ethan examined the saliva, then my frozen expression. Hungry? My stomach growled right on cue, saving me from dying of embarrassment. Stuffing a steamed dumpling in my mouth, I bared my teeth at him. Just wait. Once I regain strength, I'll devour you whole. Sober me had already decided if Ethan dared mention last night's absurd question again, I'd pounce without hesitation. I fantasized about lounging post-conquest with a cigarette, hooking a finger under his crestfallen face to declare, babe, I'm crazy about you. My daydream shattered as I choked on the last dumpling. promptly vomiting into the trash can. Ethan freaked out, darting over to wipe my mouth while firing anxious questions. I'm fine. Really? He didn't buy it. After adjusting my pillows and drawing the curtains, he vanished with rest well. I'm going to the clinic. My outstretched hand grasped empty air. Mr. Responsible had already bolted. I awoke to mouth-watering aromas. On the table sat a feast: braised pork, stir-fried veggies, steaming soup. Ethan! Since when does the B&B have such amazing food? He turned from setting chopsticks, sweat glistening on his forehead. I borrowed their kitchen. Figured you'd prefer hometown dishes while recovering. His smile softened. Feeling better? I got medicine but didn't want to wake you. My jaw dropped. Since when could he cook? Husband material. I scarfed down tender pork without even brushing my teeth. This is incredible. How'd you learn? My mom taught me as a kid. He answered seriously. She said men who cook well get priority for government-arranged marriages. I nearly spit out my rice. You believed that? Absolutely. His cooking proved too irresistible. I stuffed myself until hiccups erupted. Ethan's shoulders shook with suppressed laughter as I groaned into my hands. This was so embarrassing. The whole man-eating plan was falling apart. Just imagining the scene where I pounced on Ethan, grinned wide, only to let out a roaring burp that blasted right into his face made me want to crawl into a hole. My reputation in the socialite circles would be ruined. Was I really going to let this humiliation fester? Seeing Ethan's poorly suppressed smirk made my blood boil. Ugh! How come I kept embarrassing myself around him? I huffed and pressed my forehead against the window, suddenly noticing the packed crowds outside the Wanda Plaza near our Airbnb. A music event? My eyes lit up. Ethan had ironclad alcohol tolerance and razor-sharp instincts. A frontal assault wouldn't work. But if I exhausted him today, maybe I could pounce when he's dead asleep tonight? Perfect! Ethan, let's go there. I dragged the bewildered man toward the plaza while hiccuping nonstop. He clearly didn't anticipate my scheme. I deliberately shoved through the densest crowds, forcing him to constantly shield me while apologizing to jostled strangers. After battling through multiple human waves, I realized the event featured my favorite K-pop idol. Latecomers like us were stuck behind a sea of fans. I jumped desperately, catching glimpses of the idol's hair between bobbing heads. Can't see. Strong hands suddenly gripped my waist, hoisting me airborne. Before I could yelp, Ethan's calm voice rumbled, "I've got you. Sit on my shoulders if." My face burned as dozens of eyes turned our way. The last time someone did this for me? Probably kindergarten. Yet here I was, grinning like an idiot. The elevated view even cured my hiccups. A giggling girl about 5 sat on her father's shoulders nearby. "Thanks, Daddy. You're the best," she chirped. I playfully ruffled Ethan's tousled hair. "You're the best too." The girl tilted her head. "Miss, you should say thanks, Daddy. That's polite." Ethan burst out laughing below me. Sorry, he managed between chuckles. 20 minutes later, Ethan lowered me without breaking a sweat. I patted his rock-solid bicep approvingly. Damn, this genetic jackpot needed to be passed on. Clearly, basic crowd surfing wouldn't tire him out. My gaze swept across the 6-story mall. Time to activate Plan B. They say men hate shopping? Today, he'd become my personal pack mule. With malicious glee, I dragged Ethan through every store, boutiques, snack shops, handbag displays, clothing racks. Anything that caught my eye got purchased immediately. Soon he was buried under shopping bags, looking like a walking department store display. Ethan walked with an upright posture, the sight of him carrying 4 shopping bags in one hand appearing slightly comical. Yet when I saw his completely unruffled expression, I gritted my teeth. We were going to shop until we dropped. After another hour of this, I'd expected Ethan to lose his temper. Instead, he simply remarked in that calm baritone, "Perhaps we should buy different shoes later. Those heels look too high, your feet might start hurting." His unexpected thoughtfulness nearly melted my resolve. Who knew someone so stoic could be this attentive? But, didn't he ever get tired? In the fitting room, I peeked through the curtain gap. He sat rigidly on the boutique sofa, laser-focused on my changing stall even as the salesgirl offered him water. His eyes snapped back the instant she walked away. When I finally emerged, he looked up with a shy smile that didn't quite meet his eyes. Then I remembered I was wearing that scandalously low-cut red dress. Oh God. The way Ethan's black dress shirt clung to his athletic frame. That fleeting vulnerability in his gaze blending with primal intensity, it was lethally attractive. Yet when he lifted his head, his expression transformed into radiant sunshine. I stared like some hormonal teenager. Then appeared the miniskirt-clad girl batting her lashes at him. "Handsome. Can I get your number?" My possessive instincts flared. Ethan shook his head, gesturing toward me. "Married." I waved sweetly, pitching my voice saccharine high. "Honey, my necklace is stuck." He rushed in to find me half-dressed, the garment still tangled around my waist. His Adam's apple bobbed as he choked out, "And no, it's not stuck." Acting purely on impulse, I planted a kiss on his cheek. "Your reward. Now scram." I didn't dare check his reaction, my own pulse already thundered like war drums. Butterflies? More like pterodactyls in my stomach. The mirror showed scarlet cheeks and trembling hands. What the hell was I doing? 4 hours later, I realized my fatal miscalculation. By 8 p.m., I'd dragged us through every store in the mall. My legs shook like overcooked noodles, forcing Ethan to carry me home piggyback. Post-shower, I writhed on the bed like a dying caterpillar. Should I make my move tonight? My strategic shopping spree had backfired spectacularly. But time was running out if I didn't act now. When would I ever? I took deep breaths, steadying myself. Ethan stepped out of the shower. Water droplets still glistened on his sculpted physique that seemed to radiate its own light. His eyes widened when he noticed my stunned expression, cheeks flushing as he looked away. "I thought you were exhausted," he mumbled. "Shouldn't you rest?" Rest? Screw resting. That Adonis physique was right in front of me. I slapped the mattress and launched myself at him, dragging him toward bed. Our struggle accidentally hit the light switch, plunging the room into darkness. "Leave it off," I panted, nerves and anticipation warring in my chest. "I need the courage." Before he could react, I crushed my lips against his. Ethan froze in shock. Even the seasoned player hadn't expected such boldness. My inexperience showed as I forgot to breathe, breaking away gasping. In the dark, his calloused palms cradled my face tenderly. "Luna," he began, voice rough. "You never answered me last time about." "Stop talking." I shoved him down, silencing further questions with my lips. The night blurred into desperate touches and whispered apologies. Dawn found me aching in ways I hadn't experienced since college entrance exams. Luna, former campus queen, now lay like a broken doll as sunlight filtered through the blinds. Ethan's arms still draped possessively over my waist. "Morning." His sleep-roughened voice held unfamiliar warmth. My face burned remembering last night's madness. Yet the physical evidence proved it wasn't a dream. Sophia called us for lunch. I nearly collapsed walking, saved by Ethan's steadying grip. "Careful," he chuckled, igniting fresh embarrassment. Our farewell at the airport later carried unexpected bitterness, his lingering touch making me question everything. Neither mentioned love, some answers need no words. He held my hand the entire journey, his gaze earnest and reverent. A month later, I'll have 2 days off. That's when I'll return. Now I realize even lions who've tasted blood can become clingy. My heart races. Truthfully, I don't want to leave either. But staying here won't give us more time together. Raising my phone. I say keep in touch. I wonder if this farewell will differ from before. Ethan surprises me by pressing his lips to my cheek. Not my mouth. But for him, this suffices. I'll miss you, he murmurs. Always do. I melt into the crowd. When I glance back through the shifting bodies, his silhouette remains visible. Though his features blur, I feel his gaze trailing me like tangible warmth. This security makes me crave ordinary days, simple, grounded living. Days pass normally. Meals. Work. But evenings glow brightest when Ethan's messages arrive. Unlike before, he now writes I miss you daily. His words sweeter, less restrained. I count days on trembling fingers, anticipating our reunion. This longing confirms it, I've fallen completely. I don't want divorce anymore. I confess to Sophia. My best friend smirks, she'd known before me. The fated month arrives, but Ethan doesn't. Floods ravage eastern regions. His SWAT unit deploys to rescue disaster victims. During our last video call en route, guilt etches his face. I'm sorry. I shake my head. Smiling through the airport terminal's bustle. Your duty comes first. He notices my surroundings. Out with Sophia? I wave quickly, hanging up before luggage wheels clatter. If he can't come, I'll go to him. Ground transportation replaces canceled flights. On the train, I obsessively refresh disaster coverage, breached dams, mudslides, heroic rescues. Suddenly, live footage reveals that familiar broad-shouldered figure working at a levee. My heart lurches. The newscaster warns, 3 piping breaches reported at Willow Creek Village. The largest spanning several meters, the torrent from the breached dam raged violently. I watched Ethan lead several SWAT officers as they plunged into the water. The current already reached their chests. The water level still rising. With a thunderous shout, Ethan gritted his teeth desperately, linking arms with his teammates to form a human barrier against the piping erosion. His face turned ghostly pale with bluish tint, yet his eyes burned with unyielding determination. The scene vanished quickly from news footage. My composure shattered completely. Frantically refreshing every news feed, hot tears rolled down my cheeks. Ethan, you have to be okay. By 10 p.m. when I arrived, desperation clawed at me. Repeated calls to Ethan went unanswered. Having cried myself empty, I numbly monitored updates. Though weather conditions improved, rescue operations continued. Roads to flooded villages remained restricted to authorized personnel only. Still no word about Ethan. Through local connections, I secured a vantage point at the highest hilltop. Peering through military-grade binoculars, I scanned the illuminated embankment all night. Every rescuer resembled mud-covered figures indistinguishable through the lens. As dawn approached, my phone finally rang. Ethan! My hands trembled violently answering. Luna. His voice sounded alarmingly hoarse and weak. A forced cough interrupted. I'm fine. Relief flooded me. Tears streaming anew. I hung up instantly to video call him. Ethan answered after a delay. Bandages wrapped his forehead, grime coating his entire being. Lips parched and peeling. Liar. I choked. He smiled sheepishly as I traced his face on screen. Go eat. Drink something. Rest now. Keep the line open. I insisted. I need to see you. The camera shook slightly as he moved. Returning to base soon. Can finally shower in? He froze, noticing my surroundings. Where are you? Is that a raincoat? Trees behind. A smile broke through. Caught me. Guess where? Ethan's eyes widened before he sprinted like mad. Our reunion crashed over me instead of the planned surprise. Anguish gripped me seeing his haggard state. He skidded to a halt before me. arms instinctively retreating. "Stop that!" I snapped. He froze obediently. I launched myself into his arms. "I'm filthy," he murmured tenderly. The input wasn't dirty. I held him even tighter. Behind us, his adorable teammates burst into laughter. We only had moments together. Ethan would soon transfer with his unit. This time, I shamelessly clung to him, tears streaming down my face. Ethan looked pained, gently patting my back while murmuring my name repeatedly. "Luna, Luna, Luna." It was really time to part. I gritted my teeth and abruptly pulled away from his embrace. "Next time you return, you owe me compensation. I promise," he vowed, wiping my tear-stained cheeks with infinite tenderness. I desperately tried to stop crying, but my eyes burned again. Whirling around, I waved fiercely without looking back. "Goodbye." I couldn't turn around. Absolutely couldn't. Yet as the police vehicle started moving, I instinctively spun toward him. Ethan stood ramrod straight in the truck, gaze locked on me. Suddenly he snapped a crisp salute, right hand rigid by his temple. His figure grew smaller until vanishing completely. Clutching my mouth, I finally understood what it truly meant to be an officer's spouse. When flood rescue operations ended, my anxiety eased. Sophia heard about my dramatic farewell and declared me hopelessly smitten. Whether I'm trapped or not remains unclear, but I constantly crave longer phone calls with Ethan. His training schedule limits us to brief calls every few days. Ethan's laughter grows more frequent now, adopting my playful mannerisms. Our relationship intensifies daily. I count each sunrise, wondering when he'll come home. Then one late night call changed everything. Ethan's somber voice warned he couldn't return soon due to a classified mission. My mind flooded with danger scenarios until he clarified, "It's an honorable assignment for our country." The catch? Complete radio silence for a month. His consolation, 2 weeks vacation afterward. I forced a smile, unaware our communication blackout would coincide with life-changing news. 2 pink lines appeared. Planned yet still shocking. Sophia raced over squealing first try jackpot, and declared herself permanent godmother-to-be. We shared the news with both families immediately. The Carter parents couldn't stop grinning as they rushed over with their nutritionist and chef that very night. They insisted I shouldn't lift a finger anymore except focus on the pregnancy, treating me like precious cargo. Their dramatic fuss left me torn between laughter and exasperation. It took Sophia's intervention to convince the elderly couple not to hover over me constantly. They reluctantly returned home after endless reminders, leaving behind the nutritionist and chef. My own parents, knowing my free-spirited nature and reassured by Sophia's presence, also abandoned plans to move in, though they started visiting every other day. Within 2 weeks, Sophia and I had each gained 5 pounds. Sophia became my anchor. Whenever I missed Ethan, she'd conjure up distractions. Later, Mr. Carter discreetly obtained information through proper channels. Turns out Ethan had been abruptly recruited for an international competition requiring temporary confidentiality. Now that the event was underway overseas, the secrecy lifted. They said Ethan should contact home soon. Learning he was representing our country made my heart swell with pride. The news lifted such weight that I unconsciously packed on more pounds. Sophia teased that Ethan wouldn't recognize me on video calls. I retaliated by dragging her on 3 nightly laps around the complex. The wimpy gym hater surrendered instantly, promising to investigate Ethan's overseas status through contacts. Online details were scarce. Sophia connected us with an embedded foreign journalist covering the event. He flooded us with photos of Chinese Special Forces competitors without compromising operations. When Sophia spotted Ethan's picture, her shriek nearly shattered my eardrums. The journalist typed rapidly during our remote chat, "That Chinese man? Phenomenal. Multiple golds already, individual and team events. Broke records we'd held for years." Hearing such praise from foreign lips made me dizzy with pride. I cheekily bragged to Sophia. See? That's my husband. She rolled her eyes so hard I feared they'd stick. When Ethan's long-awaited call finally came after his final match, I bombarded him with the photos before he could speak. His stunned silence collapsed into laughter as he confirmed 5 gold medals, 3 individual, 2 team. The image of him wrapped in our flag filled me with shared glory. Luna, I'm coming home soon. Wait for me. His joyful voice lingered after hanging up. Sophia nudged me about revealing the pregnancy, but I smiled. Next call. This moment belongs to the nation. Neither of us imagined there wouldn't be a next call. One day passed. Then another. I couldn't sit still any longer. I called Ethan, but all I got was his voicemail. Over and over. A strange panic gripped me. Sophia contacted the foreign journalist, who said their team had returned home without any updates on Ethan. My gut twisted with dread. That afternoon, a mysterious call summoned family members to a private airfield. Sophia and I rode in silence to the restricted tarmac. The plane doors opened, everyone emerged except him. Where was Ethan? I scanned the crowd desperately. Another officer's wife stood equally lost until a crew-cut cop I recognized from the station approached us. Eyes glistening. He saluted stiffly before handing her a velvet box. My condolences. My bones turned to ice. The world tilted, Sophia's grip kept me from collapsing. No explanations. No context. Just that terrible box radiating finality. The other widow's wail pierced the air as medics rushed to her. Ethan? I whispered to the trembling young officer. Where's? He's alive. Ma'am. His voice broke. But, it's bad. Really bad. The runway blurred. My ears filled with static. When they finally explained, the story unfolded like some nightmare. After the competition, Ethan and Ryan had gone shopping for team souvenirs. They'd stumbled into a terrorist attack, evacuated civilians first. Got trapped themselves with 16 child hostages. Local authorities were overwhelmed. They could have escaped. Instead, they'd charged back in. Ryan took 6 bullets protecting a kindergartner. Ethan disarmed 2 attackers barehanded to shield a boy, taking 3 gunshots and multiple stab wounds. Now he's clinging to life in some understaffed foreign hospital, too unstable to transport. After hearing all this, I sat frozen for a long while. Slowly lowering my head, I stared at my swelling belly. I wanted to cry, but no sound would come. Now I understood the greatest sorrow in this world exists in complete silence. When I awoke from fainting, both families had arrived. The hospital room buzzed with chaos. Everyone urged me to take care of my health. Repeating your well-being matters most now. Mrs. Carter squeezed my trembling hand, tears streaming down her face. Our family has failed you. That man was my husband, but he was also their son. In this moment, I had to be strong. Biting back tears, I forced a smile. Mom, Dad, Ethan will be okay. I still have surprises waiting for him. He'll come home safe. The stress took its toll. Constant nausea plagued me. Sleep became elusive, nightmares jolting me awake nightly. I kept telling myself not to dwell on dark thoughts. Yet memories of Ethan haunted every quiet moment. His vital signs remained dangerously unstable, preventing medical transport home. Though family visitation was permitted, ongoing riots made the region too hazardous. We endured this torturous limbo for 3 months until stability returned. I immediately prepared to fly over. But doctors intervened. You're showing signs of premature labor, they warned. International travel could endanger the baby. In the end, Mr. Carter went while Mrs. Carter stayed to care for me. Daily video calls became our lifeline. Seeing Ethan's gradual improvement soothed my anxiety, even as he remained unconscious. On better days, I visited Ryan's widow. She needed comfort more than I did. Local authorities sent heartfelt gratitude videos of former hostages. School children caught in the crossfire. Though we didn't share their language, the survivors' tearful embraces and handwritten thank you signs brought unexpected peace. Ryan's 3-year-old daughter often asked about her father. Her mother would point to his portrait, smiling through tears. "Daddy's right here. He's our brave hero watching over us." As my due date approached, new complications arose. The baby's breech. My obstetrician announced on delivery day, "We need to perform a C-section immediately." My mind was in turmoil, filled with nervous anticipation. Just as they wheeled me into the operating room, I suddenly heard my best friend Sophia shouting from behind while holding up her phone, "Luna, Ethan woke up. He's awake." I told him, "You're giving birth." He said, "Make sure both mother and daughter come through safely. Wait for me to come home." I froze momentarily before breaking into a joyful smile. Ethan had woken up. Suddenly, all fear evaporated. Epilogue. What? It's a boy? I groaned. I wanted a pretty little girl. And he's kinda ugly. Don't really want to look at him right now. Where's he ugly? He's perfectly handsome, Sophia retorted. All newborns look wrinkled. Both families buzzed with excitement while I immediately demanded my phone from Sophia to video call Ethan. When I saw those familiar eyes gazing at me through the screen, my nose tingled with a sharp ache. Tears finally spilled over. Ethan's voice sounded terribly weak. "Sweetheart, I'm already awake. Don't cry. This is all my fault. I know I scared you these past months." That long-missed voice felt like a dream. Only one thought consumed me now. I missed him. Wanted to see him. Wanted to be with him. He said he'd transfer back to a domestic hospital in a few days. Then, we expedited the process. Ethan and I became roommates in the hospital ward. The moment medical staff carried him in on a stretcher, our eyes locked and neither could look away. "Ethan, Luna, I'm here to be with you." 3 months later, the military granted Ethan a year-long medical leave. Sophia texted, "Recovered enough yet?" "Mostly." "Where's the baby?" "With the in-laws." She sent photos of grilled oysters and leeks. "Want some?" I brought Ethan to meet Sophia for dinner. She ordered leeks, oysters, and lamb kidneys. Ethan grimaced at the kidneys but kept shoveling them into his mouth until I stopped him. "If you hate them, don't force it." He shook his head, whispering with a smirk, "It's fine. I know what you're hinting at." I raised an eyebrow. "And what's that?" Ethan leaned closer, laughter in his voice. "You probably want a second child."